Yo, you in here?
I like the rare ability in Roblox Anime Ball, which is the Mythic Infinite Void. This ability is so rare that it's a 2% chance to get. But this is how I got it. After grinding multiple tournaments, I ended up stacking up at the end and started spinning more abilities. Which in the end, I did get a couple of decent abilities, but it was not the mythic ability I wanted. Since grinding yen took forever, I started coming up with a new plan. I went to the Dragon Ball, I started asking people if they can exchange their yen for game passes or good swords that cost bucks. But nobody wanted to trade with me. I thought it was a scam until I met this guy with Luffy Avatar. He actually gave me 60k yen in exchange for a game pass in Anime Ball. So W to Luffy. After getting 60,000 yen, I was definitely confident that I was going to get the mythic ability. But with my luck, I still never got it. I didn't have no luck with any other method. Last resort was to spin Robux. I spent 1,500 Robux for 20 spins. And I couldn't believe it, but I actually ended up getting the infinite void. And let me tell you, this ability is insane. Just look at this. You reached 10. But to see the full process of what it took to get this ability, the video is going to be below. I like the rarest ability in Roblox Anime Ball, which is the Mythic Infinite Void. This ability is so rare that it's a 0.2% chance to get, but this is how I got it. After grinding multiple tournaments, I ended up stacking up enough yen to start spinning more abilities. Which in the end, I did get a couple of decent abilities, but it was not the mythic ability I wanted. Since grinding yen took forever, I started coming up with a new plan. I went to the Dragon Ball, I started asking people if they can exchange their yen for game passes or good swords that cost Robux. But nobody wanted to trade with me or thought it was a scam until I met this guy with a Luffy avatar who actually gave me 60k yen in exchange for a game pass in Anime Ball. So W to Luffy. After getting 60,000 yen, I was definitely confident that I was going to get the mythic ability. But with my luck, I still never got it. Since I didn't have no luck with any other method, my last resort was to spin Robux. I spent 1,500 Robux for 20 spins. And I couldn't believe it, but I actually ended up getting the infinite void. And let me tell you, this ability is insane. Just look at this. You reached 10. But to see the full process of what it took to get this ability, the video is going to be below. The rarest ability in Roblox Pokemon, which is the Mythic Infinite Void. This ability is so rare that it's a 2% chance to get, but this is how I got it. After grinding multiple tournaments, I ended up stacking up enough yen to start spinning more abilities. Which in the end, I did get a couple of decent abilities, but it was not the mythic ability I wanted. Since grinding yen took forever, I started coming up with a new plan. I went to the Dragon Ball, I started asking people if they can exchange their yen for game passes or good swords that cost Robux. But nobody wanted to trade with me or thought it was a scam until I met this guy with a Luffy avatar who actually gave me 60k in exchange for a game pass in Anime Ball. So after getting 60,000 yen, I was definitely still never got it. The other method, my last resort was to spend. I spent 1,500 Robux for 20 spins. And I couldn't believe it. Let me tell you, this is insane. Just look at this. You reached. But to see the full process of what it took to get this ability, the video is going to be below. I like the rarest ability in Roblox Anime Ball, which is the Mythic Infinite Void. This ability is so rare that it's a 0.2% chance to get, but this is how I ended up second. The Punisher hates child predators and gets into an online chat room to hunt one down. He pretends to be a young girl named Sad Princess and gets into contact with a nonce named Jester who plans to meet the young girl in a nearby amusement park. Jester asks the girl what her favorite flowers are, and the Punisher responds, posies. The predator excitedly gets ready to meet with the girl, and this sick fuck puts a needle in his pocket so he can do vile things to the girl later, while the Punisher loads up his guns to use it on the predator and casually. The guy then buys some flowers for the girl and even cleans his car while Frank makes space in his trunk so he can have somewhere to keep the body. The predator arrives to the park as he imagines the weird things he's going to do to her, but a voice suddenly asks behind him if those are posies he's carrying, and before he can even answer, Frank shoots him in the head, saying that posies are his favorite flowers. Later, Frank comes across two parents who are abusing and exploiting their children and selling the disgusting films as entertainment on the dark web. The
The two parents panic when they recognize Frank as the Punisher, and he forces them down to his basement. The two freaks ask for a lawyer, but Frank says that they aren't under arrest because dogs don't get arrested. They get put down. He pulls out his Glock and calmly puts a bullet in the wife's head as he tells them to think about the children before firing another bullet into the husband's mouth, letting him die and choke on his own blood before finishing him off with another shot. Frank walks out and calls the police before glancing at the poor children as a wave of pity hits him, and he gets the sinking feeling he'll be seeing them again in 20 years. The Punisher hates child predators and gets into an online chat room to hunt one down. He pretends to be a young girl named Sad Princess and gets into contact with a nonce named Jester who plans to meet the young girl in a nearby amusement park. Jester asks the girl what her favorite flowers are, and the Punisher responds with posies. The Predator excitedly gets ready to meet with the girl, and this sick fuck puts a needle in his pocket so he can do vile things to the girl later, while the Punisher loads up his guns to use it on the Predator and casually puts on his coat to keep them out of sight. The guy then buys some flowers for the girl and even cleans his car, while Frank makes space in his trunk so he can have somewhere to keep the body. The Predator arrives to the park and starts looking for the girl as he imagines the weird things he's going to do to her, but a voice suddenly asks behind him if those are posies he's carrying, and before he can even answer, Frank shoots him in the head, saying that posies are his favorite flowers. Later, Frank comes across two parents who are abusing and exploiting their children and selling the disgusting films as entertainment on the dark web. The two parents panic when they recognize Frank as the Punisher, and he forces them down to his basement. The two freaks ask for a lawyer, but Frank says that they aren't under arrest because dogs don't get arrested. They get put down. He pulls out his Glock and calmly puts a bullet in the wife's head as he tells them to think about the children before firing another bullet into the husband's mouth, letting him die and choke on his own blood before finishing him off with another shot. Frank walks out and calls the police before glancing at the poor children as a wave of pity hits him, and he gets the sinking feeling he'll be seeing them again in 20 years. The Punisher hates child predators and gets into an online chat room to hunt one down. He pretends to be a young girl named Sad Princess and gets into contact with a nonce named Jester who plans to meet the young girl in a nearby amusement park. Jester asks the girl what her favorite flowers are, and the Punisher responds with posies. The Predator excitedly gets ready to meet with the girl, and this sick fuck puts a needle in his pocket so he can do vile things to the girl later, while the Punisher loads up his guns to use it on the Predator and casually puts on his coat to keep them out of sight. The guy then buys some flowers for the girl and even cleans his car, while Frank makes space in his trunk so he can have somewhere to keep the body. The Predator arrives to the park and starts looking for the girl as he imagines the weird things he's going to do to her, but a voice suddenly asks behind him if those are posies he's carrying, and before the Flash can never use his powers again, as after the defeat of Superman and his regime, heroes are facing consequences for their actions as Superman is being held in a Red Sun prison, Wonder Woman is imprisoned in Themyscira, and the Green Lantern has been turned into the Guardians and enslaved. However, the Flash avoided a brutal fate by refusing to side with Superman, but now he's under house arrest and prohibited from ever using his powers again, basically grounded. Barry arrives at the longest road in Australia, a place he saw as paradise as he could run all day and just think. But now all he could do is just think, as he has a hard time walking as a normal person, seeing it as agony. Suddenly, Barry witnesses a truck about to crash in front of him and knows that Batman is watching him, but he is the Flash, and he can't stand still while someone dies. He uses his speed and instinctively saves the driver from the minor crash. Suddenly, his ankle monitor starts beeping, and Batman tells him he's watching him and that they had an agreement, but Barry says he can't just stand by and watch someone die. Bruce thinks for a second and tells Barry to stay out of trouble and not use his powers. After walking for what seemed like hours, Barry reaches his destination and finds an old friend named Mitchell, who went by the name Galaxor, but is now paralyzed and living in his mom's basement after he tried standing up to Superman and Wonder Woman. But they beat him up and blew his back out while Flash stood still and watched, knowing he could have saved him, like me when I watched my dad beat my little brother. Mitchell asks Barry who he is, and Barry reveals he was the Flash and praises Mitchell for standing up to the tyrants. He apologizes for not being brave and not helping him, and vows to walk again, no matter what it takes, one step at a time.
My fiance got this ring from Police in the Movement X5. It's custom made and the diamond is huge, but it's lab created, so the price is not crazy. You never know by looking at it. He said this thing's super easy to use, and even helps with ring size and setting. Honestly, perfect. I don't think I play without someone stopping me and asking me if I was doing a really good job.
Now that I have find a way to cut it. That's so not listening to this man. If anything, you should listen to tell you why. You ever eat before? I don't know where I was going with that. What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at Squid Games and I can easily survive. I want to see how easy it is to actually complete these games. Without further ado, let's get started. So I just finished a new season of Squid Game. For the record, 7.8 out of 10. Not too bad. But as I was watching 7.8, I would give it at least 0. I don't know. My only concern for it was the decision making. I'm not gonna spoil it. I would just say the main character could have gave warnings ahead of time. You feel me? About when the games were gonna end. You've been here before, right? Why did you wait until the actual game where niggas? Well, you could have told them before they were actually gonna go play the game. After this new season, my mind couldn't help but wander. I couldn't help but think, what if Squid Game was real? What if I lived in South Korea? It is real though. Damn, you know? Squid Games or Alice in Borderland? Which show is better? After watching the two, I will say Alice in Borderland. I'll tell y'all why. Season 2 of Alice in Borderland. Keep fixing. What if I was in Squid Game? Well, that's exactly what we'll be going over today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, instead of an action movie, or horror game, I'll be going over how we survive every single game in Squid Game. Yeah, the series is back. Get it? The sixth time or something. I'm giving you my strategy, my game plan, my thought process. However, rules for this one. I have to go into these games clueless. I have no insider info. I'm not smart enough to predict the games. Nothing. So in short, I have not played these games before. And the first game I'll be starting with is what? Jump past this game. I feel like this is easy, bro. You don't get no incentive to be in the first place. It's not like you're gonna win the whole thing. So you might as well just follow where the majority of people are. And don't be near anybody so that they don't tickle you or anything after. If you're losing in this one, you deserve to get KO. You guys know the game, the most iconic one from the show, the first one they played, and we all played it growing up. This one is probably the easiest of the games I'm gonna go over. Yeah, all we gotta do is make it across the field before the timer ends and stop every time the doll says to. Pretty easy. Even having it be a huge doll repeating a track makes it so much easier. Especially compared to the friends I grew up playing this game with, because there used to be some cheaters. But it's not all easy. There are some challenges, some obstacles I gotta take into consideration when doing this. Firstly, the initial shot. Obviously, at some point during the game, someone's gonna goof around and move. Maybe they tripped, wanted to check the time, had to scratch their ball down. If Squid Games was real, we're all participating. I'll only participate if there's like 3 people. There's no reason I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna be 450 people for a cash prize of that much amount. And if it is, I need it to be 10 billion. I know it's someone's gonna move and we gonna hear a pop. And when we do hear that pop, it's gonna send a lot of people into a panic. Which begs the question, how much movement is considered movement? Obviously, I know I'm not allowed to go into a full sprint when it's red like the people who just ran away. But what I'm asking is, when the first elimination happens and some people get scared, what's the difference between me shaking nervously like this girl who got popped and me straight up flinching like the sun did? Not saying I'm gonna do either. I'm not no scaredy cat. I'm just saying it might. Realistically, if I see someone die in a game where I'm thinking that we're only playing kids game for money, I'm gonna run away. Assuming that I know how the game is being played, then it's gonna be easy. But if I don't know anything, cold, I might shiver, I'm trying to play it safe. Second thing to take into consideration, the people around you. In this game, you're literally playing with 455 other people who are all competing for money. And these people, let me just tell you, this ain't like grabbing your average Joe Schmo off the street and telling them to compete. No. These people are poor. I'm not even being mean. They're broker than broke. They're in debt. Imagine Haiti. Yeah, whether it was their parlays wearing hands, that hot 2 coin pump and dump, or a few bad decisions led up to them using that fence, it don't matter how they became broke. I don't care whether I'm not accepting this game. Only reason I'll accept this game is if I already have a dying wish and I'm probably gonna die in 2 days, and I'm not gonna at least play a game to make sure my family gets it. Other than that, you will not see me. They got slapped to be here. And again, we are competing for money. People who aren't in this much debt are already out here doing some strange things for money. So best believe amongst these 455 people, some of them are definitely going to be willing to do some egregious things for that cheese. Meaning in this situation, I gotta see every single one of them as an op. Except 222 and 149. Everyone else though, I'm assuming they out to get. Wait, the old lady too? Who looks better? This girl right here or the girl from the season 1? The girl in season 1 is not, she's different. 222 and 149. Everyone else though, I'm assuming they out to get. So immediately after the initial shock, first first thing I'm gonna do is stay at the very back of the group and all the way to the far
Okay.
left side. That way no one can push me from behind. And I also have someone in front of me to cover any potential shivering I might do. The cold. The cold. And the good thing about this is this also puts me in a position to attack. Maybe I decide I really want that money. For what reason? I don't know. I'm a grown man. I got bills to pay. I don't know. I need the money. And thankfully, this strategy puts me in a position to do a little shoving, a little pushing, maybe even pull out the forbidden moves. Yo, that girl to your right's in your queue. I'ma do what I need to do.
If you flinch over somebody potentially flirting with you, you deserve to get eliminated, bro. There's no reason to risk your life for somebody saying you look good.
Red light, green light, I'm bodying this one. Now the second game, that might be a little more tricky.
Alright, well, doggone it, you know, if you got some sucking experience, like, you feel me, you know how to use it. Like, it should be easy enough. You gotta get the two-hand combo. You just gotta start. You know, you gotta be a real eater to pass the test. If you don't have the saliva, you're just not built for it, bro.
As a lot of y'all know, in this one, the people playing gotta select one of the 4 shapes on the wall. Triangle, circle, heart, and umbrella.
If you get umbrella, honestly, just self-sacrifice.
If they do, the shape ends up being the one they have to cut out of a cookie. And while some of you may now be thinking, Derek, that sounds way easier than the first one. What were you talking about? How about you let me finish? The catch is with this one, the cookies in this game are like my heart. Right. And as you can guess, once the cookies are broken, you get the usual pop like the last game. You understand now? Is why you should listen. Now, I'll be honest.
Here's the thing with them. They've been playing the games wrong. Instead of licking it, you ever thought of eating it? Like, nibbling it? Just nibble it, bro. Try to nibble it so that it doesn't crack the whole thing. Oh, I never ate a cookie before.
This one has to be one of the most terrifying ones in the entire series. Like, if you played the Roblox version of this one in Shrimp Game, then you know how scary it can get. That game is unironically the closest we'll get to feeling the terror those characters feel in the show. You'll be carving out your slightly cracked cookies, and the next second hear a little Timmy next to you. Oh, please, I want my mom.
This is literally the funniest part of Squid Game Roblox. I love that.
So when I'm in this one, my nerves gonna be at an all-time high. But before we figure out how to get around this one, first we gotta figure out which shape am I gonna get. Obviously the hardest shapes are the star and the umbrella, so it'd be better if I choose the triangle or the circle. But, walking into this game, I wouldn't know I'm about to cut a cookie, just like the characters in the show, except Sangwoo. And if I walk into a random room and see 4 shapes on a wall, I'm gonna be honest, triangle and circle are the ones I'm least likely to choose. Circles are too perfect, I can never draw them. And triangle,
Triangle is the best one, but circle ain't that bad either.
come on, bro. I ain't Illuminati's. So in a real life situation, I'm probably choosing one of the hardest. Most likely, Star. Star even started me with some of my favorite Pokemons growing up, so it's fitting. Now that I have my cookie, it's time to find a way to cut it. That's
Do not listen to this man. If anything, you should choose the hole. I'm gonna tell you why. You ever eat ass before? I don't know where I was going with that. Circle has gotta be the easiest.
Some of y'all know, to get around the brittleness of the cookie, G-Hood, after sweating from being so nervous, discovered a trick. He found out he could use his saliva as some sort of softener for the cookie in order to cut out his shape more easily. And I gotta give him his flowers, because in this situation, I'm not coming up with this. Look, I may love sweets, but the last thing I'm gonna be thinking about in a life or death situation is licking a cookie. I'm not Rock Wade. So that strat is off the table, meaning I gotta do it the old-fashioned way, which may seem more challenging to the average person.
Saliva don't work. You can get liquid.
But let me give y'all a little tidbit of knowledge about myself. Before I dreamt about being a YouTuber, I actually wanted to be an artist. And I don't mean a singer or a rapper, I mean a Picasso, a Vincent Van Gogh, a Leonardo DiCaprio. Check out the art, check out the art. And as you can tell, I was super talented. So regardless of how much pee I got running down my leg, my hand's gonna be as steady as a pole. And steady enough to cut the shape without having to do any of that licking.
Or just nibble it, bro. Like, you could just nibble it to the point where it's like it's gonna reach that line.
So I'm cutting that shape out easy.
Giant, you won't believe what I just found. Have you heard about Royal Kingdom?
Royal Kingdom? No clue.
Brand new puzzle game.
Not interested.
The game doesn't even need Wi-Fi. It's free from anywhere. Space, a remote island,
No Wi-Fi? That's unusual. What about those in Minecraft?
0 ads.
0 app. Are you sure?
Yeah, and it's free to play.
3, no app, and no Wi-Fi.
See?
Jerry, I'm ranked number 3 in the world for Royal Kingdom.
Stanford Health Exceptional Women's Health Care means? A genetic counselor who understands what's at stake.
Detecting my breast cancer at its earliest stage. Restoring intimacy with my partner with pelvic floor therapy. Being able to see my preemie turn 30. Try.
Being here for every mother, daughter, sister.
It means being here for every woman.
How am I supposed to prove that to you? Well, alright. As you guys can see, here we have our cookie. Looks like
If we run out of ingredients, what is the sample size actually I'll go in the cookie? Why does it still look messed up? Bro, if the cookies are like this, I swear everyone would have survived.
looking real clean, looking real nice. As you guys can also tell, that there was a test cookie. I ain't gonna stall too much. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so I'm gonna start that timer. Now I go with the South Park BJ. 3, 2. Little more done.
And everything by putting down your phone, and then I think you'll get to it faster. You ever thought of that, bro? Tug of War, no, you're just cooking. I hate the fact that there's games based off of Sprint and Squid Games, because it's like, bro, you're gonna have to have old people. Yeah, like, it's just a game of what?
The 2 games. This is the first one where I have to work with a team. Game is simple. Tug of war. Y'all know there's a rope. Both teams pull. One team loses. Very simple stuff. But since it's Squid Game, instead of falling into a pit full of mud or just falling over onto some grass, in this game, you free fall into some concrete. So we don't want to lose this one. And we won't. This one is light. All I gotta do is do what most of the winning teams did and pick a team with the strongest people there. And that's it. I most likely won. The only obstacle here is literally if the other team had the main character on their side and they start pulling out that reverse Michael Jackson lead. That's gonna be tough to beat. But
Did this even actually have any like logic to it? I don't even think this is practical. None of them are even moving backwards. They're just literally just lean back.
besides that, it's even worse. Bonus points if the other team is full of old and starving people. That'll be a landslide victory. Before we continue to the next game, though, around this time is when the game makers decide there's a lot of people left. A little too many. So they decide to turn off the lights. I know this isn't a game per se, but it's happened in both seasons, so I'm included. Once the lights are turned off, the dorm the contestants sleep in becomes a bloodbath. Pretty much a huge free-for-all.
If you're actually participating in killing someone else, you're an idiot. Just hide behind the bed. It's really not that deep.
And I'm not gonna hold you. This one may have me a little startled. I mean, these folks are dropping like flies. But although I'm a little scared, I'm making it through the night. Listen, I played hella shooters and I've seen Revenge of the Sith. So I know how important high ground is in a situation like this. And that's why my strategy for this one is to go to one of the top bunks like the old man did. I don't know how he got up there to this day. And if anyone tries to come up,
When they killed the big what happened if that dude got killed? But they didn't stop the game. Because he was the leader of the whole thing.
they getting kicked, spat on, pushed. Tell Thanos back up. I keep my forks on. I just know in the situation I'm defending myself and the people I care about. Unlike Player 125. You know, in real life, I rarely get hurt. Someone could bump into me.
Was he the one that snitched on that one girl? Lame ass dude, bro. Not snitch, he didn't help her out, bro. She was such a character, too.
He accidentally stepped on my shoe. I've been cursed out by crackheads on the record. I was laying on my couch watching this scene.
Yeah. You could have helped her, bro. She was helping you the whole time.
The biggest picture. I thought, you thought, we all thought this dude after missing that bottle to a really hard jump. And RKO. He just sat there and watched eating one of those two characters that I hated. Like you, who just made it a top 3 because I hate you. Now you sound like people left with that. You know, he was doing that for the end for the bitch. It made sense. What you do?
Take it all. Bridges, dishwashers, kept they make it.
They're make the difference. Instead of just throwing the stuff in the dirt, you're actually making sure it goes where it needs to go.
Oh yeah, but he was quick.
With my line today, I jump.
Anyway, where was I? I have a fork, Thanos.
Realistically, you're not going to do anything with it when there's multiple people trying to kill each other.
This is another one of the new ones they added in season 2. Y'all know.
saying, I'm cool, and it's another one where I have to work. Like, that's the point you were making? I did not know that. Yeah, I know. But in this one, instead of one game together, you and your teammates play 5 mini games separate. Well, as separate as you can be when your legs are tied together. That's right. Not only are we playing multiple games in this one, but this is also a 6-legged race. Still remember how difficult and annoying the 3-legged race used to be when we were young? You got something slowing you down the whole time. You know what I mean? What if being double the legs and quadruple the people holding you back makes it at least 2 times? How many games we played this for? Dodgy, Stone, Gungy, Minotaur, Jack. And think about what the optic was the easiest. It gotta be the J. You put it on the and hit the racing, get to the side, who plays what. And honestly, I get excited to get 0 back. So give me some. Yeah, you know, I used to play baseball back in like 09, check out the trophy. But when it comes to throwing, I got it. Except when it comes to throwing the game, it's not which game I'm gonna do. It really just depends on my team. And if I have to make sure this will be the green team, I do 120, Ganju, Motivation and Jackie, me, 222 on Dodgy, out of Protector. No, I know they know it's better. That's great. We gotta make sure she's good. And then I see the final member, the front man for the spinning top game. And cause I'm gonna need someone to hype me up while we win. I don't see a single flaw in this team. So the Pentathlon, put her body in there. Bingo! Oh, this way, bro. This way. The original red light, green light, and it's push Amy, we were still the way in the let's get it. We still getting pairs for especially styles, and when it does, the announcer the number that me and some participants will have to fill a room within 30 seconds. That is not long. The number of people in the room has to be the exact number. It can't be too high. If it is, you get top. And what happens if you don't make it? And I see a lot of people on the internet say they're dying. It's too chaotic, too much going on. Social skills to beat it. Because they're going about it all. Or you know what you can low-key do? You can just check near the door. Don't even worry about getting a team. Get up near the door. See which door is the closest to the people that you need. And then just don't make it go wrong. While most people are worried about making alliances and trying to go into groups for the rules are filling up, you go with him. I'll go with her. Forget that. Don't worry about me. My number 1 priority in this one is getting into a room on my own. Like I said earlier, trust anybody here. I ain't trying to get left behind like a shaman, and I ain't trying to have Thanos hit me with the Like I said earlier, I don't trust anybody here. I ain't trying to get left behind like a shaman, and I ain't trying to have Thanos hit me with the let's go. That whole group stuff. That can so like casually say that in such a weird voice, knowing that the other person is gonna die. Do you hear people like that? To at least find another person entirely. And since it's like I deal with the burden of having social skills, the team you're probably like, what do you mean? The whole point of doing this to get into groups. How are you supposed to win? I got one word. Let's say the announcer yells out, "Dad." Look around the carousel for a group that has that exact number. It follows. I'm trail behind them as they search for a room, and right before they go in, player 51 and then I'll come at anything 3, lock the door, and secure my spot as number 10 instead of them. It's gonna be like the Looney scene all over again, but I made it. So I'm sorry. This scene low-key had me hurt, bro. What do y'all think the saddest scene was of season 2? Oh, probably the ending. Oh, but what if they're too big for you to tackle them? Simple. While I'm trailing behind the last one, all I gotta do is pull up. Is that the brand new thing right behind us all of a sudden, right now, right behind us? And at least one last dude's definitely gonna take that down a little ration. That's like saying, oh, is that Naruto? I mean, New Jeans is pretty fine. I understand it's Korean, but wow, if somebody yelled at and I'm not even Korean, let me hear it. That's just, I'm leaving the door myself. Even if I'm in the door, I'm gonna actually open the door up and see them turn around. And I don't blame them. How sweet is the vibe? Then I just repeat that strat for 4 more rounds, and that's Mangle. Stop me here is if I get the whole who's here first situation with like the
Mi mejor amigo me dijo que tenía pensamientos autodestructivos. No sabía cómo ayudarle. Llamé al 911.
from one. Or you can tell them, I see Lala is right outside the door. But I'm probably not gonna be able to do much with a snap neck. Marble. This is easy. This is another thing. I played these. These are actually quick, but not in the same way the cookie one was. Not at all. And this one, just like the last one, we're on teams, specifically teams of two. So you gotta make sure you get with someone you trust. The goal of the game is to play mini games, and if you're choosing the elite tier team, eventually taking all of the opposing farmers. Pretty easy. Doesn't seem too bad, right? But the catch is with this one. Instead of another pair of people being your opposition, your partner is your opposition. This is by far the saddest Squid Game of them all. I watched this episode for the first time back in Big 21, and it literally ruined my whole day. There was the dude who played with his wife, Ji-hun, and the old man, Ji-young and Saipyo. This episode was so peak. All of the matchups just made sense. I've never seen better writing in the show than this specific game, bro. It really made it so that the combinations of people had to just be the worst. Sabu and Ali. A lot of people feel sympathy for him, but I called him a dumbass. I don't care, bro. You know, damn well your ass like gotta make sure you go through. The least you can do is actually check your bag, dumbass. It was just too much. These characters spent so much time together just for them to practically kill each other. It was just all too much. Ali. And if it hurt this much as a viewer, it's gonna be even worse when I'm in the game. Cause my partner gonna be somebody that I rock with. 149. You gotta go, my girl. Hear me out. It's gonna be hard to work up the courage, but we gotta play. I know it's messed up. So that's at least grading out her marbles. And since the game is up to us, yeah, I would just go to someone that's hella old. What are you gonna do even if I'm gonna actually in GTA? What if I just tell you no? I'm thinking of a game that requires steadiness of the hands, like that one song game that 101 played, or Jenga. We're gonna have to see if they got this. Either way, Grand Arthritis gonna get the best. If y'all have to stake your life on one game, I'm gonna go with FIFA. That's the game I'm best at. Or maybe some Rocket League. If I have to go with like a IRL game or like a card game, probably go, That's the hurt, they gonna have to back her up. It's gonna hurt, but hey, on the bright side, a 1. And I still got 222. Real talk, if you need that father, just hit me up. That other dude. This is definitely the hardest one I've faced yet. Y'all know how the way she just like intentionally look at this shit. Like she not like this big why should be this. All she doing is looking straight and she looks like so you gotta make it across the glass bridge after a certain amount of time, but for every safe tower there is, there's an identical unsafe tower right next to it. So pretty much every time you jump on is a complete and there's 18 jumps. Y'all can do the math. Hold on, what if someone like Nick Plus were to participate in some shit like this? Is there any way to go through? I feel like it's now blocks this year. Math on that, but I don't think we all make it. I just need one even to go through the middle of the thing. Why not? That should be the most obvious way to at least attempt. This one is not even the low chance of you surviving. It's a low chance of anyone even going. I played this game on Fortnite and on Roblox, and no one ever goes. Maybe some those are published playing, but most of the time these dudes be so stubborn that they won't even move a millimeter unless someone else does first. And I don't know, I'm one of those dudes. And they move a millimeter unless someone else does first. Instead of going forward, your ass wasted your life and went on the left person. And I would know, I'm one of those dudes. And it's gonna be the same thing in real life. I ain't letting no one capitalize off my sacrifice. So this people not wanting to go thing is definitely going to be an obstacle. On top of that though, I didn't mention this earlier.
Why he left?
Be important to bring up, but now it feels relevant. Guys, let's remember, this show takes place in South Korea. Everyone here is Korean, and I am not. What if they're racist? If they're willing to take out each other to win, what do you think they're gonna do to the brown one? I mean, you see the Olympics, they treat them like they aren't, man. I feel like I'm back in one of the old stereotypical Korean shops. Instead of the usual hurry up and buy, I'm here. Hurry up and die! In all seriousness, with this one, the only thing that can really save me here is the order. If I'm dead last, maybe, I might be able to make it. People ahead of me get enough towers. But if I'm first, right, but no. Yeah, I already said earlier I'm not moving, so y'all can clear a path. I guess we all gonna die. But there's a lot of games. Am I the only one that still doesn't understand my game? The final game, the most dramatic game, and the most intimate game of them all. Because it's a 1v1. In this one, there's a defense and an offense. The offense is supposed to make it to the top of the squid, while the defense has to stop the offense from making it by pushing them out the square. And if neither player wants to do all that, well, you can kill the other guy. You know, this one isn't too shabby. Yeah, the other person against me might be trying to kill me the whole time, but I mean, like, it's unfair. Biologically, men are stronger, so what were they gonna do with a man versus woman? Were they gonna, like, change up the games? I'm assuming I'm about to kill them, technically. If I'm on offense, all I gotta do is hit them with a little paper. Where you going? Juke moves and get to the top of the square. And if I'm on defense, all I gotta do is push them out the square. How am I gonna do that? Simple. Just knock them out. I don't even know how I'm dealing my right hook again. Like, listen to this. That was just a jab. So for the final game, Squid Game, would I survive it? 1,000%. I genuinely don't think I would. No matter who's in front of me. This one is for all the marbles. Y'all think y'all surviving last one? I'm not where I'm at. I think, I feel like I didn't last one. I think that's where it would be GG. No pun intended. It could be the front man. It could be Jihan. It could even be from Legends Kairos. I told you to keep that ball. Go back up. Point is, whoever's in front of me, they get it at work. They get it juked. They get it pushed out. It don't matter. Because at the end of the day, I'm winning the Squid Game. Are you? Probably. Depends on which game we play and what the games are 2-3. And also if my opponent is 2-2. I can't kill her. That was pretty much all the Squid Game games I could go over today. What do y'all think the hardest game is? I think the hardest game has to undeniably be either Tug of War or the game with this strategically is unless you just deliberately don't decide to go. Then everyone's gonna be cooked if you don't go. But anyway, YouTube, how y'all would survive this game? Season 2. Doing this on Twitch. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. 710
These diamonds, yeah, they're low, but that means that I got the size that I wanted without the crazy markup. I never take this ring off, and honestly, the best decision we ever made. This ring is from Brilliance, and they let you customize everything. I get so many compliments, like daily. Every time I someone compliments my ring, it just feels like part of my outfit now. You know, with my nails and my bracelet, it just really is part of my look. If you haven't checked out Brilliance yet, you need to do it. You can build your own ring, try it on at home, and they even have a 30-day return policy. What do you have to lose?
Everything.
Where he can even answer, Frank.
You use money, it's easier to get. You use money, it's easier to get. You said two tries. What? You wasn't lying. Bro, we only freaking toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Let's try that out. Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the freaking toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Let's try that out. Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the freaking toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Let's try that out. Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the freaking toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the freaking toddlers. That's crazy. I was even trying to get the toddlers. You use money, it's easier to get. You said money, really? Let's try that out. Two tries. Wow, you wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the freaking That's crazy. I wasn't even trying to get the taco list. Use money. Two tries. Wow, he wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent $4,000 and we got the first pick. I wasn't even trying to get the taco list. Use money. It's easier to get. Two tries. Wow, he wasn't lying. Bro, we only spent